let me tell you, we are going back to Paris now. This time it is again with the one and only Simon Burke. He's our SABC journalist. He's out there bringing us all the action as well as the electric energy that's out in Paris. Simon, I heard that you've got a few dance moves, maybe a mix between the haka and the tango. Will we see it?
Zaya, you should be so lucky. I come to you from Paris. It's the evening rush hour. Here we're by a busy overpass. These are the roads that are leading to Saint-Denis, to the Stade Francais, the national stadium, where tonight's match, New Zealand versus Argentina, will be played. And again, we haven't seen... I saw one Kiwi who didn't want to come on camera. I'm not sure why, a camera-shy Kiwi. Who'd have thunk that? The Argentines as well, keeping a low profile. Truth be told, it's only the Springbok supporters that you see everywhere. On the Champs-Elysees, at the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, all the landmarks, the Springbok supporters taking in the sights. And they are feeling welcome here. Despite the deposing of the hosts, France have got nothing but nice words to say about the Springboks. In fact, you saw Siya Kolisi talking there, and the French, by and large, seem to have taken Siya Kolisi to their hearts. I was at the World Rugby headquarters in Paris today, picking up something, and a little boy came to me outside in the street to ask me, "Sir, is Siya Kolisi and the Springboks, are they in this building?" I had to say, no, I'm sorry, they're not there. They're out in the countryside, they're practicing. They got a big match to prepare for. And you can see the glint in his eye. He really wanted the Springboks to be there. And this is a little French boy. So the Springboks have won over the hearts and minds of all of France, despite kicking them out of the tournament in the quarterfinals. But now, for more on the analysis of this match coming up, tonight's match, but also obviously that huge semi-final against England, I'm going to bring in SABC Sports producer Thando Mxoli, who's also here on the streets of Paris, and he's also decked out in his Springbok top. And this is a top that is creating quite a stir. All the cars are hooting as they come past for this top. The French again responding to this. Thando, welcome. It's a busy night here in Paris as the Parisians rush home. I suppose that's why we have 9 o'clock kickoffs here in France. We're getting used to the fact that you're going to a rugby stadium so late, but the French seem to do things by a different standard here in the French capital.
Just to follow the lead of our captain, Siya Kolisi, we have had a great time in France. The French people, contrary to popular belief, have been very kind to us. They've been really, really nice. Also, on the actual field, there's a newfound respect for the Springboks, not just as a very good team, but also as great human beings. And that is what we're looking for as ambassadors of our beautiful country. Tonight, Argentina take on the might of the All Blacks, 3-time champions of this tournament. They're looking to get the magical number 4 that no one in the world has ever gotten. Tricky one. Going into this tournament, let's say about 2 weeks ago, not many people would have thought that the All Blacks would still be in this competition. But that famous victory against the number 1 ranked team in the world, that basically propelled them very high into the favourites tag. And everyone's saying now this is a team that everyone should be worried about. Argentina, though, on the other hand, let's not forget, Argentina have beaten the All Blacks in New Zealand. That takes some doing, and for that they need some respect. They've got great game breakers. They got Montoya, you got your Augustine Creevy, and talking about the hooker berth, for example, Dan Cole's not in today. But Argentina at full strength in the hooker berth. That's another strength of that tied 5 that you know is very effective, very good at the breakdown. Also, they're very good with taking the points. Scoreboard pressure, very important tonight. Argentina are very clinical when it comes to penalties, just like New Zealand. We've seen the likes of Jody Barrett. We've seen the likes of Beauden Barrett playing very well, back to his best form. We've also seen Richard Mawanga actually playing very well at Flav, letting that background run very nicely, and also making the tackles, which is another thing that we've seen in this tournament. Small little flowers like Maneli Bok and Richard Mawanga being not shying in defence and putting their bodies on the line. So look, we are really in for a good match tonight, and I'm looking forward to this one.
And we're going to have to get our skates on because this traffic isn't letting up, and the Parisian traffic is notorious here. But talk about the Springboks, talk about the All Blacks. Both emptied the tank they had to have in their last matches, these quarterfinals. An epic weekend of sports, one that will be remembered in people's memories for years and years to come. Just such special victories. How do both of them, do they have anything left in the tank against England, against Argentina? Because they're in similar boats, aren't they?
They definitely are. And also, I mean, like a guy like Ian Foster, there'll be the emotional backing from the team that if he goes out, this is the last game as All Blacks coach. But on the other hand, Argentina will say, imagine if Augustin Creevy retires with the World Cup medal around his neck. It's 2 more games. Two more games, and then we see who the champions are. Again, very tight affair in my eyes. I don't really know who's gonna win this one, because a lot of people have said New Zealand are gonna take it. But for me, a guy like Michael Cheika always has a trick up his sleeve. Ian Foster has been around the block. Despite what he's done in the last couple of years, he's been around the block. He's seen some many good New Zealand sides. So that said, tricky one to call.
Well, we think we've covered sport long enough to know that nothing's a certainty. The problem with these World Cup draws is when they do get to the knockout stages, you do tend to want things to be a certainty, and it doesn't pan out like that at all. But what we can say is that the Springboks are in an incredibly good space. They are well loved, well liked around the world. Their brand is growing ever stronger. Seo Kolisi and his men have a lot to be proud of, their entire organization. And when you come out of the borders of South Africa, you see that hard work and you see everything that they've done up close and personal. And you all used to just want to do a little dance, not a tango or a haka, but you know how that team is so happy. That's how you feel.
Thank you, Simon. We share that hope with you as well. Be safe in the rush hour. We'll touch base with you again soon. Simon Burke there, soaking in all the festivities that comes with a World Cup. And of course, the Boks spirit, as you can feel, is alive in well. There was not a puma or a kiwi in sight. That tells you something.